going on, my people? Sand City Sports. We are back at you, folks. Just under the wire right now. We got T minus, and I got to do a couple things with the shot. But we are T minus 30 seconds left in Christmas Day. I wanted to get at you on Christmas. Okay, the Suns and the Denver Nuggets game is still going on. We had to get a couple things in order. Still need to straighten up a couple things, which I'm going to do momentarily. But we are T minus 15 seconds left. I hope everybody had a good Christmas holiday. Things went as good as possible. We're going to talk about that, but it's always something. We T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, and just like that, Christmas Day is in the books as the clock strikes midnight. So getting at you, coming at you a little bit later. We think things work how they work. Let me just come here and say, okay, my shot looks good. I'm gonna work on the shot a little bit. You know what I mean? Technical. You get some technical things straightened out. Excuse me. Get some technical things. Hold on. This is good. That's gotta go. As you know what I mean? We get ourselves organized. Let me just right. Come over. Boop, 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 boop. And scoot over here. Okay, this is good. Let me see here. Come. Nope. All right. Beginning of the show, always just kind of getting things lined up. Obviously, these things could have been done in pre-production, what we call pre-production. We have not, and I've learned my lessons. We have not gone live just yet on our socials. I had to learn that lesson. So let's get the socials up and running. Good. Good. What's going on? The Facebook and IG are where they need to be. Glad to see Bradley Beal just got to 4 steals in my fantasy. All right. YouTube is where it needs to be. Twitter is where it needs to be. Let's bring these over. Let's start with X. Let's bring YouTube right in. Talked about Facebook. Talked about IG. Let's get Twitch in the building. Let's get the Twitch in the building, and then we got a lot to get to, folks. We got a lot to get to. So thank you for your patience as we work out the technical difficulties. You know what I mean? Got to work at technical difficulties. We got to turn every page. You understand? Twitch is on point. What's going on? And you know something, folks? I'm going to have to, because I looked around, and I noticed, I said, what the heck is going on? So the Twitch is, and I already had Twitch open. And I opened it again. I already had it open, and then I opened it once again. So very, very happy, glad to be with you. I'm going to step over for a second because I'm looking around. I was like, why is it? It looks a little dark in here. And we done devoted the first 5 minutes to production stuff. I said, it looks a little dark in here. What the heck is going on? I got to step over here real quick and get, let me get this. Hold on. Step. Okay. My lint rollers are in place. That's good. Gotta have your lint. All right, and now there we go. There we go. You see, the shot is much better. The shot is much better. So we 5 minutes and 20 seconds into the episode, and we spend that time with the technical side. But nonetheless, I'm glad I took the time, because previous episodes I have not gone through, and we missed out. We missed out on the socials. The socials weren't able. All right. So folks, I'm rocking a little bit of purple. Shout out to People of Action. Shout out to Unity Day 2024. You understand? I'm trying to be festive here. Even though we coming to you, it's not a festive, it's for the rest of us. But the Christmas holiday is in the rear view, technically speaking. It's past midnight. And let me, get my watch. But Sand City Sports, we in the building, okay? By the people, for the people, to check in and make it do what it do. So, again, I hope today, right? See this? We're looking dark because that wasn't. You learn something every single time. The light was down, now it's back, and we have the other things set up. I was like, why is it? Okay. We learn something every single time that we come on. And so, yes, number one thing, obviously, today being a holiday, I hope that folks had a good day, as good a day as possible within reason, right? We have to be mindful at this particular point in time. We got to give ourselves grace. We have to recognize that comparison is the thief of joy, right? And just find our level on this Christmas holiday. Different people are in different places. I, for one, enjoy going on the social media and kind of seeing what's going on, how people are doing things, and people are shining bright. I like the family photos that I saw, people in the pajamas all together. Love to see that, and I love to see the highlights, people spending time and reaching achievements, and all of those type of things that we recognize. But again, different strokes for different folks, right? On this Christmas holiday, and everybody might not be in the midst of a highlight reel. Everybody might not have all their ducks in a row. Everybody might not have, you know what I mean? And so what I've learned as I've gotten older, is you know what I mean, is just to be thankful. There's so much that you have that you're fortunate for, and everybody's holiday is their particular holiday, right? That's what it comes down to. People are going to experience it and do what they need to do. It's great to have those moments and people getting together. That what they say, people make the world go round. That old school track, right? That happiness is best shared, collective and collaborative. And so, folks that were able to achieve that today, I tip my hat to you. And then other times, folks, are going through the experience, smaller groups or on their own. And if that's how you're rocking, I hope you had a great holiday as well. My holiday is a little bit of a mix of those things, connected to friends and family, but also on my journey. And that's how this year panned out, for better or for worse. And you live and you learn, you live and you learn. But happy holidays, Merry Christmas, you know what I mean? And just like that, it goes by. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then we're already counting down, you know what I mean? Just like that, to the next. And it's a beautiful thing. So, yes. That being said, let's get down to the Sand City Sports that we have. Number, and yeah, came in, wanted to get in Christmas Day, got in for the last T-1 minute on Christmas Day. But the Nuggets and Suns game is still going on. Advantage Suns as far as I'm concerned in that matchup. Coach Bud is in the building, and he's the right coach for this team, offensive-minded coach. And so I'm going with the Suns in this matchup. You know what I mean? Suns last year, disastrous. Uh, Frank Vogel, good coach, defensive-minded coach, not the coach that they needed. Coach Bud, equal and more experience. Vogel and Bud have been around since time immemorial, so they've been around for about as much, But Coach Bud knows his offense, knows that pace and space, and they got some bona fide, certified bucket getters. Right? We talk about bucket getters. All right, the Suns have two of the top five in the league, bar none, in KD and Devin Booker. All right, and so Coach Bud knows, and they got Tyus, they got a point guard that's out there to navigate. Nurkic is a quality center. They went for broke, brought in Bradley Beal. That hasn't necessarily worked out, and who they really need is Jimmy Butler. Word is born. He's talking about going to the Suns. If they get Jimmy Buckets, we might have a new reconfiguration in the Western Conference. Yes, I said it. OKC is, the top dog, but they the New Jacks. They're the young guns. All right. They that young lion on the prowl. They can be gotten. OKC is no, you know what I mean, formidable. They're formidable, but they're not formidable. If you know what I'm saying. The Celtics are formidable, even though Cleveland's number one seed. The Celtics are a formidable number one seed. OKC is not a formidable number one seed. The West is wide open right now. How the West was won, we don't know. Right? So, point of fact, respect on Oklahoma City's name. They are the number one seed, and Chet Holmgren has not been in the mix. Shout out to the Pride of Gonzaga. We're going to speak about, skinny strong in a bit. Chet Holmgren is skinny strong. He needs to get his butt back on the court. I'm tired of these doggone injuries. That's why, he missed his first year with the we used to be microfracture back in the day. It was plantar fasciitis, whatever the case may be, with his foot, and they just sat him down for the whole year, which I don't mind. When you have these guys, even never mind the load management foolishness and ridiculousness, but Chet Holmgren has a marathon runner's belt, right? The peak marathon runners, even though he's tall, big, long stride, that's his belt. And the science and the game has changed. We used to think that those people that had great functional strength. Chet Holmgren has great functional strength, and we are going to get back to the Suns. I haven't forgotten where I started. Chet Holmgren has great functional strength, right? He can maintain position, good shot blocker, right? Because basketball is a freedom of movement sport. It's not a collision sport like a football. You cannot be displaced from your place. This is the referee in me coming out. You know what I mean? Freedom of movement sport. Okay, whereas football is a collision contact sport, and they're trying to make it as safe as possible. Some of the things that they're doing, they shouldn't be doing. Some of the things that they should be doing in football. You know what I mean? Hip drop tackle. It didn't. You know what I mean? But I understand that there's sometimes you get injured with the hip drop tackle, sometimes not. Maybe we could have kept that. Obviously, the blindside hits, should have been out of football a long time ago, and I'm glad those are gone. Which is where you could really, really hurt somebody. It's not even really a league, Whereas the player is looking this way and the guy comes the other way and blindsides them. Those should have been gone decades ago. Helmet to helmet, yes. But the defense needs some place to hit the offensive player, right? So football is a collision sport, navigating how to make it as safe as possible. Basketball, freedom of movement sport. Every player has a right to space on the floor, provided they get there first and legally. We're going to get back to the Suns. We're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder now. Chet Holmgren, right, is a big part. He and Shai Gilgeous, Rashai, there was a time, whenever I see his name, it's pronounced Shai, but it's spelled Shy. And those 80s babies would know what I mean, that Shy. And if I ever fall in love so true, when I see his name, Shai, that song come back to my mind, the 7th and the 8th grade days. I will be sure that the lady I'm getting a little bit older now, you know what I mean? So that song is you can't say, I don't know, it's not really a banger, it's not like many men which that's not like it's not of that, you know what I mean, but it's just an R&B classic to me. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shy, shout out to that song. Um, and then there's Shay Gillius Alexander. But I'm on an old school tip right now, so we're going to talk old school. Um, that song, it's funny. I look back and I don't, because I remember when I was like heartbroken as a seventh and eighth grader in middle school. You think just because you know what I mean, the Jackie this or the Susie that doesn't like you, the world is over. And looking back now, that was just a bunch of ridiculousness and foolishness. And working in education, seeing the next, seeing the young people go through that adolescent, you know what I mean, awkward phase, and you realize that that's a good R&B song, but you shouldn't have let you get carried away, and all of the Wonder Years type stuff, the Winnie Cooper type stuff that goes on. It's natural, right? You're adolescent, but it does need to be reined in, and you do need to kind of get rid of, you're not, the world's not over because your sweetheart, in seventh grade or eighth grade, didn't, your sweetheart doesn't know who the heck they are, by the way, and neither do you. So that's really the point of adolescence, to figure out who the heck you are. Listen to some good R&B songs. And if I ever fall in love, listen to that's a great song right there. That's a great song. Listen to it, but don't let it get you carried away. Don't let it get you carried away. You gotta stay balanced. Seventh grade, high, senior, college, adult. You gotta stay balanced, right? And if we had more balance, there'd be less people on Bumble. Am I wrong right now? If we had more balance, there'd be less people on Bumble. Speaking of just reality, I don't think I'm wrong on that. More balance, less Bumble. Don't. All right. So that's just when we talk about Shay, I think about Shy. Just that was so true. That's I don't have it on Spotify. I'm putting that song on Spotify because it's just a hit. It's just an absolute hit. But maintain yourself. Maintain yourself, adolescents. Maintain yourself, young adults. Bumble has enough money. They got billions of dollars. Let's just get more people, that have balance and good relationships and don't need to rely on the good people at Bumble. Shout out to that app. I wish tech savvy people that are just making a killing. Hopefully bringing people together. They take a lot of their money, but hopefully they bring some people together too. What does this have to do with the Phoenix Suns, folks? The Phoenix Suns can take out the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's what that game is still going on. Let's get a score check. Let's get a score check and see what's going on in that game. I told you, advantage Phoenix. My New York Knicks handle business. What I tell you? End of the third, 85-78, Phoenix Suns. Please. All right? I can't even do the underdog. Maybe underdog will want to sponsor me. Underdog, I've been giving you respect for a long time. If you're an underdog, I'm giving you we build it up a little bit. We build it up. Also, it got in the background. You see my little hair products. You know what I mean? Maybe they would want to sponsor me. Hair products and some vitamins. Some vitamins we got to my left. My vitamins. Shout out to the Flintstone vitamins. Shout out to the Flintstone vitamins. You know what I mean? As I got older, I was like, why don't I eat vitamins anymore? So I got my multigrain vitamins. But the Flintstone vitamins in the day was that was that, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So let me hold on. Let me. Okay, so my chats. Anybody chat with me? Nobody chat with me, but okay. Come back. Come back home. Okay, good. I'm getting the technical difficult. I'm getting the technical side of things, folks. Nobody's chatting with me, but all my different platforms are up. We on the Facebook. We on IG. We doing the IG live. Okay, YouTube is on. X is on, Twitch is on, so we across every platform. Sand City Sports, Cape Cod Kid, your boy, Christmas Day episode, even though it's past midnight, and we had some technical difficulties, had to get the shot right. The shot is good. The lighting is right, you know what I mean? And I rushed up in here, but I'm here. I'm here to do this episode and spend time with you, and it's a beautiful thing. Check in with me. If you're inclined, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, all of the rest of that. Okay, but we're starting in the NBA. We're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to talk about my New York Knicks and how they handle business. We're going all the way down. Pack day in sports. We're going to talk about how Roger Goodell is coming up in the building, trying to strong arm folks. We're going to talk about that. Christmas Day is supposed to be about the NBA. NFL's coming in trying to, you know what I mean? My man King Josiah put a little tweet out. King Josiah is on point with Gil's Arena. We don't play a hate, we congratulate. where there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. You know what I mean? So we always learning and doing what we can do. But King Josiah put it on the Twitter. He's like, man, NFL is like, you know what I mean? NFL is like Marlowe season 4. That's what the NFL is like right now in terms of Christmas Day. Roger, do we play football on Wednesdays? Since when do we play football on Wednesdays? Roger Goodell saying we coming for them Christmas Day corners. Goodell said we coming for the Christmas Day corners. Adam Silver, you been warned. I'm coming for them Christmas Day corners. Like Avon when he came out in season 2. He said, I guess I'm just a regular gangster, I suppose. And I needs my corners. That's what Avon said. Now, Stringer Bell was right. Season 2. Stringer Bell was right. Hold on. Now, that's season 3. I'm sorry, that's season 3. Right? Because, yes, that's season 3. We lose. And my people I'm not going to tell you who we lose. Because everybody hasn't seen what I consider the greatest television show of all time. But Avon gets out season 3. Come home talking about I once. Right? And he comes into the hamster dam. That's season 3. Season 2, my favorite. No shame in my game. My favorite. Season 2 is the Ports and my man Frank Sabatka. That's my favorite. People go, oh, why? You know what I mean? Because we showed you something, as if I was a part of the team, David Simon and company, showed you something that you hadn't seen. Everybody knows the story. We let her hear the story out of Thug Live and Worry. Duck down in car seats, heat's mandatory. Folks, this is Sand City Sports. I'm going to get back to my sons and the NBA, but we doing culture right now. We doing culture. I'm giving you the culture, and we connected to the sports. Back to the wire. And why season 2 is my favorite and should get more respect. Everybody knows the story of West Baltimore and the nitty-gritty. We didn't know the story of the Port. You didn't know that story until David Simon told you. Okay? People that live in Baltimore that I'm fortunate to be friends with and stay in touch with will tell you. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. In Baltimore and New York City and everywhere. Everybody knows. The drugs come in through the ports. Everybody knows this. I didn't know this until I saw season 2. I didn't know. I only know the hood and you know what I mean, the nitty gritty. Okay? Talk to my people in Baltimore. They're saying everybody knows this. Why is all the enforcement on I-95? All the enforcement is on I-95. Okay? In terms of, there's a name for it, like I think they call it like the Black Dragon. I have to get this. People in law enforcement know this. It's like the 50 miles or 25 miles between New York City and coming up the New Jersey Turnpike is where they get the biggest, you know what I mean, seizures or whatever. It's like I forget the name, you know. I'm going to say, it's going to bug me now. I'm going to get it for you in the next episode. Okay, I'm going to get it for you. But that stretch of I-95 or the New Jersey Turnpike, shout out to Jersey, is where, they, coming into New York City, where people get busted the most. But, right? That's not where the drugs, the bricks, I'm talking like I'm freaking Stringer Bell now, right? It comes through the ports. So why is the enforcement all on the roads? Okay? The Wire, David Simon made that, he gave you that different dimension in terms of, okay, how things work and how, shout out to Lester, everything is connected. Okay? What does this have to do with the Suns? What does this have to do with the NBA? Let's backtrack now. Roger Goodell is coming in like Marlowe season 4, trying to take them Christmas Day corners. NBA's ratings already down. I'm interested to see what the numbers are because we saw Ravens out there mollywop the Texans, okay, which Lamar, he about to get another Lamar ain't giving away no MVPs. Lamar ain't giving no MVPs away. Josh Allen, you best to handle your business this week. You let the Patriots hang in there with you. Shout out to Gerard Mayo. We need Travis Hunter in New England. You let the Patriots hang in there with you, Josh Allen. Lamar coming for that MVP. Forget the voter fatigue. You have another dud, Josh Allen. I'm taking my chips away from you. I want you to get the MVP. I'm pulling for the King of the North to get the MVP. You keep messing around. Woo! And doggone it, Steelers. How you going to get embarrassed by the doggone Chiefs at home? I thought y'all was about that. I thought y'all was about it. And how the doggone Chiefs, quietness is kept, only lost one game. The championship is coming through KC. I don't know how Andy Reid does it. I love when Andy Reid wins, because what does he say? Andy Reid, husky dude. Ain't nothing wrong with being husky. I've been thin most of my life. I'm getting a little bit husky because I stopped exercising, even though I did a little bit of exercising today. I exercised today, which I'm happy with. Been a long time since I did exercise. I got a little bit of exercise. I need much more. Much more. It's not even New Year's. That's the resolution. Long overdue for me. But Andy Reid, what I love when the Chiefs win, even though I don't like how they get questionable calls, because that wasn't pass interference in the Super Bowl. That was a miscarriage of justice, what they did to us and the Eagles and everybody else. Miscarriage of justice. That game should have went to overtime. Miscarriage. Justice. Awful. No two ways about it. Despicable. 50-50 call. Despicable. So the Chiefs do get calls down the stretch, which, but they also win. And you know what I mean? And they just find ways to win, and you don't even know how they won, but they win. And so the Chiefs having home field advantage, I mean, they have been knocked out. Joe Burrow came through and did what he does. But not everybody's Joe Burrow. Not everybody, right? So, I feel like this is Buffalo. This is your time. I feel like the Ravens. This is your time, right? And we're gonna stay in the AFC. Those are the two teams that or is just Patrick Mahomes gonna get all the Super Bowls, right? The Buffalo Bills had their 4 Super Bowl runs. Should have got the first one on the field goal, right? Redskins knocked them out the second time, then 2 straight to the Cowboys, right? You know what I mean? Like, your window is there, and then it's not. MVP, Josh Allen, do what you need to do. Lamar can come and snatch it from you. But both of you are going to let your championships be snatched by Patrick Mahomes if y'all don't break through this year. Because you've just been around too long, and the Texans, right, who got a beat down today on national television, but they're not healthy. Stephon Diggs was lighting the NFL ablaze, on fire. Diggs, Nico Collins, Mixon, Stroud, healthy? Yeah. Yeah. So Ravens, Bills, you go another year, you don't get it done. Let the Chiefs break through, get to the Super Bowl. And I'm so upset for my doggone Detroit Lions. I'm still pulling for them to win the Super Bowl, along with the Eagles, who I have to root for in the NFC. Have to root for the Eagles. City brotherly love, family, connection. But Detroit Lions, close second. There's just so many injuries. You lose your Pro Bowl running back. You lose your Pro Bowl defensive team. They just have so many injuries. I just, if they can still pull it off and be, Dan Campbell for president. I know we have an incoming president. We're not going to get political tonight. But I just don't know if they can do it. So advantage Eagles to take on whoever comes out of the AFC. The Chiefs, right? In my heart, I say Bills. In my heart, I say Ravens. They have to go through Kansas City. I don't trust neither one of them. Period, end of story. As much as I like Josh Allen, and with Josh Allen, never mind just the respect that the polar bears, because I'm fair weather, folks. We fair weather around here. Okay, we ain't doing no cold. I'll DVR some cold, but I ain't. But the folks in Buffalo, they got this brand new stadium coming on board, all the technology, kind of like the Intuit Dome. We're going to talk about the Clippers, an Intuit Dome and how that's revolutionizing. Bills, kind of same thing. But people in Buffalo, when they get the 10, yeah, I said, not 10 feet, but like snow drifts. The snow drifts, when they push all the snow, front end loaders moving this stuff, 10 feet. Normal. That's normal in Below. Normal. Shout out to Christian Leitner. I hate Christian Leitner. We thought he was a preppy. Christian Leitner from Below, Buffalo. Bob Hurley Jr. from Jersey City. You thought they was Silver Spoon? Think again. We talked about it. You Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins, Buffalo. The people in the city, when they get the snowstorms, the people shovel out the arena so they can have the game. Place packed. Talking about the new field that they're going to put in is going to have like heated field. It's just not, how small market, NFL, do it for the love, respect it from a distance. But I ain't going to, and you see the people out there in the games. I catch pneumonia just watching. I get, a minor case of frostbite just watching you. Okay, but respect is through the roof. Same thing. Green Bay mom and pop shop, 8 o'clock in the night game, 2 degrees below, places packed. You want to talk about, just people living. And right, speaking of, I didn't live as much as I could have this holiday season. I didn't seize the day as much as I could have. That's neither here nor there. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I love to see people doing that, seizing the day and just, yes. So I root for the Bills. I root for the Ravens. Patrick Mahomes ain't giving up no corners. He ain't giving up no clout. At all. Zero. Chiefs with home field advantage. I fear for you. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I fear for you. Having to go to KC to get it done. Joe Burrow showed you the way. It can be done. But Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson ain't showing me no Joe Burrow. Period. They ain't. In terms of when it come down, when it come down to the come down, they ain't showing me that. Okay, so we're gonna get back to the Suns in the NBA. That discussion, and I'm really not. It's been a half an hour. I done wasted 5 minutes, but it's been a half an hour on this, but I don't mind. It's Christmas. It's the holidays. Sand City Sports is in the building. We doing this. By the fans for the fans. I can't steal that. That's my man CP the franchise. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. We don't play hate, we congratulate. Great show. And I checked in with him after the Knicks got their victory this afternoon, actually. We're gonna get over there. Okay. But Roger Goodell, NFL, Christmas Day, people home, people need something to do, go to the movies, it's just more gloriousness. Shout out to Barnstable People of Action. Shout out to Unity Day. You know what I mean? Shout out. We're going to get the Sand City Sports shirts as well. This is also courtesy of the Flag Man. NFL is just, I hope the NBA holds their own because the games have been great. We'll see. Everybody's making their money anyway, by the way, with the TV contracts. But I hope, right? And it's just interesting how what did Pat Riley say? The disease of more. Everybody always wants more. Right? I guess it's a product of capitalism. But the reality for sports fans and just people, is you just get a lot of great stuff on Christmas Day. Hopefully not too many distractions. Hopefully we don't forget the reason for the season and we don't forget, to kind of check in and give ourselves grace and all the rest of that stuff. But a lot of just great sports action going on, and we're good. Hold on, do I have a chat? Okay, nothing. No chat. All right, that's all good. We live though. We've been live for just about a half an hour. No end in sight on this Christmas Day. A lot to get to. All right, and let's go. Let's now go point for point. Okay. I'm giving you the Suns over the Nuggets, and we'll just loop back around and we'll end with them. My New York Knicks handle business today on a big stage. Victor Wembanyama also served notice. I missed out on Wemby in my fantasy draft. Traded my number 1 pick, in the beginning of the season. Then lost that number 1 pick. Turned out to be Wembanyama. I'm still processing. I haven't gotten over this. I really shouldn't even be talking about it. Um, even though my fantasy team did get a win last week and we're playing well, but Wembanyama would have been a crown jewel on my team, take me forward. Lost out on Wemby, and his crazy production today in every single game and every single week. But good game, back and forth. Like what I'm seeing from the Spurs. Love the addition of Chris Paul. Love the fact that he's not willing to just ride off into the sunset and go on some team and championship chase. He wants to play. He wants to contribute. He's absolutely perfect for the Spurs. Our thoughts, are with Greg Popovich. His family have not been on the sidelines, and hopefully Pop gets back soon in some capacity, maybe front office, right? But love what the Spurs are doing, and then they're just hanging around in a very competitive Western Conference, trying to get into that play-in tournament. They're built for the future. Castle and Wemby are going to grow together, and they have the pieces kind of around them, and they're on the come up. They're a piece or two, obviously, away, right? They're going to need to land somebody in free agency, or they're going to do well in the draft and developing, but they're trending in the right direction. So Wemby, 42 points on 31 shots, not the most efficient. 16 threes, 6 for 16, but look, this is how I feel about it. He can score inside and he can do this, that, and the third. I feel the people in San Antonio and the people in the NBA have no problem with Victor Wembanyama shooting those 16 threes, right? Because he's really not built for the post life and they don't want him to get injured. I think that plays a role. Now, is he, where I think he needs to improve, frankly, because he's not going to be a back-to-the-basket player. We know that, even though he should do a little bit more. But here's where Victor Wembanyama is not anywhere nearly as efficient as he should be. Where does Kevin Durant usage start? In the high post. Around the basket, right? That's where, and then he expands out from there. We know that KD can do it all. But Coach Bud, offensive minded, they start using KD in that high post, right? Carmelo did his work from the short corner, right? KD, it starts in the high post. And, that's a free throw. And obviously Durant's a very good free throw shooter. And I'm right there, you know what I mean? If you press me, one dribble, dunk. If I jab step you, I'm just going to shoot, free throw, bucket. All right, and so remember Michael Jordan in the triangle offense, okay? In that mid-post, high, whatever you want to say. And his back to the basket game once he came back from the retirement, folks. Okay, but that's where Victor Wembanyama needs to play a lot more. Instead of starting at the three-point line, he needs to get his butt down into that high post. You can run some high-low. He's obviously a good free throw shooter. It's a bucket. He's, just a dribble. And with Wembanyama, he doesn't even need to dribble towards the basket because he's so long. It could be a side dribble, and then he could just take that one step and lay it in. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't even have to dribble towards the basket to lay it in. He could dribble horizontally and then just Euro step and just drop the ball in the basket. So Wemby, if you might be possibly watching, all right, 16 threes is too many. Get your butt to the high post, face up, and be more efficient. All right, never mind in this, ticky-tack NBA, they breathe on you. It's a foul. You go right to the free throw line. Okay, you weren't put in harm's way and much more efficient. All right, because we talked to, you know what I mean? Victor Wembanyama, and I'm still processing. He should be on my fantasy team. It hurts. All right, I'm staring at you on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside. It pains me that I made a move, and I don't, it was a good, because what happened is they was antagonizing me because they said we'll swap number one picks at the beginning of the season. I looked at my team. I said, you know what I mean? We're gonna make the playoffs. James Harden was my guy. James Harden with the Sixers should have known. Okay, but James Harden sat out there, you know what I mean, and wasn't there, and my team, plummeted, and the rest is history. I ended up in the lottery, and then I was thinking to myself, even if I'm in the lottery, what's the chance I'll get the number one pick? So I didn't make the playoffs. I ended up in the lottery. Then in that lottery, I ended up getting number one pick, but I traded number one. It was just a catastrophe, and that number one pick was Wembanyama. So I'm gonna check with my therapist, about talking about this. Um, yeah, Wemby. Okay, he is the modern day Lou Alcindor. That's who he is. He's a modern day Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, I said it, and what you're seeing validates what I'm saying to you. Modern day Kareem. Okay, but with Kareem, granted, didn't have a 3-point line, different NBA. He had, as we all know, the skyhook, unstoppable. Wemby is just unicorn-ish, but he's not. You know what I mean? He's giving too many threes. Shoot your threes. You can do it. Space and pace. All this analytics foolishness. Got you. Get your behind down like KD to the high post, and you'll be a much more right because KD gonna give you 27 points on 13 shots. Right? We're gonna talk about what Mikal Bridges did and how he scored his 40 points much more efficiently than Wemby. All right. Where's Mikal Bridges? He's getting to that elbow. Case in point, Wemby needs to start there and work out from there instead of starting, as I've said a number of times, from 3-point line. Okay. But just love what the Spurs are doing. Organization, first class, the Alamo, all that good stuff. They're trending in the right direction. My New York Knicks, we're also trending in the right direction. And getting, the togetherness and the flow, and we need a center. And Mitchell Robinson being out, we need just a big body, but we really don't. We do, but we don't. Because Tibbs is the defensive specialist, and we see what Tibbs does in terms of developing bigs. We see what iHeart is doing with Oklahoma City. Right? Enough said. So we know Tibbs is going to develop a big. But the Knicks, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers are, got some people, that old shook ones. You know what I mean? That old don't. Yeah, the Cavs got some people a little bit shook right now, and they certainly on the radar. But the Knicks, my Knicks, under the capable leadership of Tom Thibodeau, are right there neck and neck with them, and right, you're gonna need, because the Cavs go big and they're gonna crash the boards, and Josh Hart can rebound out of position. He does a great job, but that's not going to be the case against a Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, who are certified board men, right? What did Kawhi say? Board man gets paid. That's what Kawhi said. The board man gets paid all day, every day. Shout out to Kawhi and his impending retirement. It is what it is. Hasn't been healthy for a playoff since the Spurs won a championship, or since Toronto won a championship. How long ago was that? How long has it been since Toronto won a championship? And he wasn't really healthy that year either. But at least he was healthy in the playoffs, and it hasn't been the case since. I like him as a person, and he's just not healthy. He's Brandon Roy. Okay? How did I get on talking about Kawhi? I got talking on Kawhi because the board man gets paid. The board man gets paid. So Josh Hart is a board man. He's going to get paid. But he's not going to be, he will not get boards with Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen in the mix. He will not. No. You can't have, right, to rely on a Josh Hart at the 4, even though he can spread the floor. They left him open for a 3 late in the game. What did he do? That Nova connection. And by the way, there's talk about Ragu. There's talk about DiVincenzo returning to the Knicks. We're going to make it happen. And there's things you can't trade a team. Ragu coming home. Dante is coming home. La Cosa Nova is coming back, folks. La Cosa Nova is coming back. He's coming home. He's coming, right? So we're going to reestablish. We're going to get La Cosa Nova. You know what I mean? Even though, right, the Knicks do have guards. They got Tyler Kolek. They got Campaign. They got Landry Shamet. The Knicks, but one of them other guards got to go as far as I'm concerned so we can bring back Ragu. I don't care. Or they can stay on for the championship. And you know what I mean? Campaign. Love Landry. Like Bucky. Like Tyler Kolek is up and coming. So, but we need Ragu. We need Dante. We need La Cosa Nova connection for the Knicks. So I'm very happy to hear Um, and Minnesota is doing what they're doing, and yada yada yada. Great. Bring back um, La Cosa Nova. Y'all they left Josh Hart open for three late in the game. It's like, well, you kidding me? You kidding me? Knock that thing down. Plenty of time, plenty of rhythm. Got the pass from Mikal Bridges, and right, it was on. It was on. All the people talking about, and as a Knicks fan, based on the love of Thibodeau, based on my connection to the tri-state area, growing up, um, and that remains true um, to this. You know what I mean? And like I said, the holidays are the holidays is different and challenges and things of that nature. But you know what I mean? We understand what it is, me personally, and you know, one thing wasn't, you know what I mean? What didn't travel this holiday season, but you know what I mean? They'll be traveling. You know what I mean? We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it happen. Um, but what I'm getting in terms of my Knicks is that right. I've just been saying Bridges, Mikal Bridges. We need and Godfather offer was made. We brought Bridges home. Cat, we need Cat. Godfather offer was made. We brought Cat home. Cat is from Jersey, right? Mikal Bridges from the Philly area, as I recall. I'm gonna double check on. I know he went to Nova, but Mikal Bridges, yeah, folks. You know what I mean? You want to be with the Nova, the Nova Knicks. And even though a lot was given up, what's the results? And back in the day, people talking about super team. No, Brunson, bring him home. And what's the results? Okay, so yeah, man. Knicks, do I feel, and it's taking some time, and the Cavaliers have kind of stolen some of the thunder, stolen some of the shine, but they're right there nipping, and to get to that Eastern Conference Finals. Now, you don't want to have to face Boston, right? That's where the number one seed is crazy. Where the number one seed's a real thing. I have no problem facing Cleveland in the divisional round. I don't want to see Boston in the divisional round. I want to see Boston in the conference finals. So that's where in the East, this 3-team thing going on. Somebody gonna have to play the Celtics in the second round. And I don't want it to have to be the Knicks. It might be the Knicks, but I don't want it to be the Knicks. I want it to be the doggone Cavs. That's just me. Good win, great atmosphere, Christmas Day, and again, I just love to see people that are just, you know what I mean, making the holidays what it is and having a good holiday as much as possible. I love to see it, and it was a beautiful thing. Now, second game, Dallas, Minnesota, Luka going out. And with Luka, first of all, when we talk about the Dallas Mavericks, we got to start with Jason Kidd. Elite coach. Got his opportunity too early. Wasn't ready for it. Flamed out in a couple places. Didn't have, you know what I mean? It's just everybody, right? Is Steve Nash going to coach again? No. Shouldn't have gotten that job in the first place. All right? You can't just, you know what I mean? There's a method to the madness. You know what I mean? Tibbs, lifer, Pride of Salem State. Okay? You can't just because coaching and playing are two different things. Right? So Jason Kidd got the opportunity, I think it was with the Nets, and then he coached with Milwaukee too soon. Humbled himself, was the assistant for the Lakers, was a Lakers assistant under Frank Vogel when they won in the bubble. Further assistant, and then with the transfer, Luka needing a new voice, Rick Carlisle returning to Indiana. It was just that win-win. And he has added surplus value. Notable. You're seeing the best Kyrie Irving of his career. Never mind the 2016 championship in the shot. Never mind the coaches, the 3-4 coaches he got fired in Cleveland before LeBron came back. This is the best Kyrie Irving of his career. This is putting Kyrie Irving back in the Hall of Fame conversation as far as I'm concerned. And it's happening under Jason Kidd's leadership. And you're getting the best out of Luka. Mercurial Luka Doncic, who's not in good shape. Who's not in basketball, quote-unquote, shape. who is in round mound of rebound shape. Yeah. So a little calf injury, a little tweak, Luka, you're too heavy. I'm just a guy saying this, but it's a fact. Okay, if it's the same, if we're saying the same thing for centers and Yao Ming and how we, you know what I mean? And I'm not wishing injuries and stuff like that. And Yao Ming, it's just, but right, that lumbering, big body, Andre Drummond type of a player in this pace and space league. It's just more, right? If you want to talk analytics, and even though nobody touches anybody, you can't, there's no fouls, but you're running up and down more and more. And if you're gonna play husky, it's a different, you're not just, walking up the court and then just going into the paint. The game is not all in the paint, rebound, then you walk back down the court and then you walk back, you know what I mean? The way the game used to be played. So if you were this lumbering Daryl Dawkins, shout out to the roast and bun, toast and cake, shaking, baby maker, think of where man I am. Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, baby. Yes. Young Chocolate Thunder came right to the NBA out of high school with the gold chain around his neck, playing for the 76ers when they was battling the Lakers in the day. Right? Now, Daryl Dawkins, when he came into the league, 18, but as he got, he was a big, burly dude. Okay? Oh, we got somebody tuning in. Shout out. Respect. On the YouTube. Respect. Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. All of that. We love it. Right? But Luka, he's carrying too much. And that's why the load management, you know what I mean? Non-contact injury, you know what I mean? It's like my calf is strained. I don't know. You know what I mean? And Luka, and I didn't believe in Luka. People in my fantasy league was on Luka early on. I didn't believe, and a lot of people didn't believe because he was the 5th pick. I believed in Marvin Bagley. Okay, the 3rd pick was 100% right. Trae Young, Atlanta Hawks GM got that right. Obviously, the Mavericks got Luka right. Ayton, miss. Bagley, miss. Jaren Jackson, hit. But, Jaren Jackson is clearly the 3rd best player. Luka's transcendent, 1st ballot. Trae Young, close. Even though he's, and Trae Young, I love, what Quinn Snyder is bringing in Utah, right? Quinn Snyder, who was a good coach I love what Quinn Snyder is bringing in Atlanta. He's been a good coach his whole career. At Duke, at Missouri, everywhere. So you're getting the best out of Trae and they're developing their pieces, all the rest of that stuff. Right? Luka's obviously with Jason, it works with him playing. And you know what Luka does that there's, he doesn't get the credit. Well, maybe he does get it. Who knows? You see how LeBron uses his man body now, later in his career, in the last 4 or 5 years. 3 balls improved. I think, personally, his form, he learned a lot from Ray Allen during the Miami Heat years. Don't quote me on that. That's my take. And LeBron, just, I feel his 3-point shooting and his shot, his form, all the rest of that stuff, I think Ray Allen had an impact on him in the Miami Heat years. Period of the story. That's my take. Not backing down off it. Also not backing down off the fact that LeBron uses his body and his physicality much more as he's gotten older. The whole narrative about playing with his kids, right? And the old man game versus, he just does. But some of us, like myself, we're calling for LeBron to do that, in 07, 08, 09. Like, you're bigger and, take these guys into the paint. He did that with Miami when they went down 3-2, had the game in Boston. People in Boston like to talk about this, but it is what it is, right? And that was one of the best LeBron performances ever. Getting it to a game 7 and then winning that series. Shouldn't have been down, whatever. Boston was still throwing the ball. Boston was more together. Miami was more talented, but whatever. But you see how LeBron score, he doesn't have to exert as much, i.e. an older Mike. I'm using my body, and and it's crazy when you see, how he posts up like an Andrew, when LeBron really gets in a certain attitude, and takes guys, who, by the way, Draymond did hold him. We're going to get to that. But Draymond was holding him. And all this talk, all these takes coming out. Why didn't LeBron take the last shot? Because he was being held. Shout out to Steve Kerr putting Draymond on him. Shout out to Draymond knowing the ref's not going to call a foul, but just held LeBron to prevent him from getting the ball. And that shifted the defense. The defense played up going toward LeBron. So Reeves gets it. Wiggins is overcommitted. You know what I mean? And so Reeves just takes that straight line to the basket and scores it. But LeBron made that happen, right? How we used to talk about Antonio Brown and why other guys was able to get catches, like, Juju, whatever, on that beat. Juju Smith-Schuster, because, AB was taking so much that Juju had open coverage, had man coverage, and he just cooked him. So Austin Reeves had the man coverage and open lane to the basket because LeBron was being held by Draymond. Good strategy, because we knew they was trying to go to LeBron. But all the takes about why didn't LeBron take the last shot? I don't want to hear that nonsense. He created the last shot, which was a layup for Austin Reeves, and the Lakers won the game. That's what happened. Okay, back to Luka. He is bigger, a little bit slower, but I credit him 1,000%. Luka takes people into the paint and puts that body on them. Puts that body on people. He's a very, and we already knew this, but skill. So you know what I mean, and you know what I mean. Hey, you like honey buns? I mean, I'm like honey buns too much myself. I'm not a professional athlete, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Coffee cake, eat too late, all the rest of that stuff. I feel you. And I don't feel. But with Luka, right? Broad shoulders, and he's just bigger than people. And so he don't waste, especially, and like he has. Another thing, what we're seeing with LeBron and Luka, a little bit less with Luka, is that what I see in LeBron, this is what we should have seen with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson would have played 20 years, should have played 20 years, now that we know the science. Okay? But just this longevity of greatness. And, right, that is, so LeBron's longevity, that's kind of, I'm like, man, this was magic, what we're seeing with LeBron. Magic would have played on and competed and elevated the league, so on and forth. So that's a beautiful thing. With Luka, credit. I just love, he scores and he uses the physicality and he has the mind to do it. And the broad shoulders, slow-mo, you can't steal the ball from him. He's going to keep you on his hip. He's going to back you down, and it's just so efficient. But the other side of it is, these Knicks, these dings, all the rest of that stuff, it's because he's heavy. He's heavy. Good game, back and forth. Dallas was down. They came back. Jason Kidd had some great timeouts to scheme up things, to get buckets for them. And they had the chance to tie the game. They might have tied the game and all that stuff. And it was just a good back and forth game. And then Ant-Man said enough's enough and scored the bucket, straight line drive to seal the deal. So I like, I'm happy for both teams. Dallas is dangerous, very dangerous with the two certified of the two most certified bucket getters who are sensitive but have embraced unselfishness. And they're built with, lost my train of thought, got it back. PJ Washington's great. Clay is great. Derek Lively out of Duke, top draft pick. Didn't have a great year at Duke, but came in, focused, NBA ready, outstanding. Gafford behind him. So they're, how they want to play, they have all of those pieces. And they're just going to shoot threes and you're going to shoot twos. And they're going to make threes and you're going to, they can just outscore you analytically. And then, but also out hustle you with their worker bees. So yeah, thought Minnesota should have given them more of a run last year, but Minnesota's still hanging around in the mix. Randall trying to find, Randall is Randall, right? And trying to find his footing, and Tibbs had a lot to do with Randall's resurgence. And now he's not being coached by Tibbs. So he doesn't have that general on him all the time, right? Use a quick example. We talk about, when LT did not have Bill Belichick or Bill Parcells. Shout out to the two Bills, 30 for 30 gold, right? It hurt Lawrence Taylor that Bill Belichick didn't take over for Bill Parcells and be the next coach of the Giants. It's hurting Julius Randle not having Tibbs on him all the time. Okay, and he has to find to get back to that level, so Minnesota can maintain themselves. But a good game back and forth, and Minnesota edged them out at the end. Celtics gave away a W, as far as I'm concerned, to the Sixers. I don't care. I'm happy for Maxey. Good to see Embiid back. Celtics should just be demolishing to borrow Stephen A. Smith word, moribund 76ers. Should be demolishing them. All right. Even our Sixers are talented when healthy, right? We don't think, because it's just been a dumpster fire on the court, off the court, all points in between, as far as I'm concerned. Embiid not being a leader, never having been a leader. You bring Paul George here, and then you just been on foolishness 24/7. Maxey, really the straw that stirs the drink there. Nick Nurse knowing his business. Okay, if they can just get past the foolishness in Philadelphia and maybe, I don't even know, make it to the playoffs, they'll be super dangerous, but they're going to get bounced in the first round. A lost season because of the slow start. Okay, and the Celtics should, these are wins. Again, as I said, Celtics, you're gonna put yourself. I mean, Cleveland gets the number 1 seed. Celtics, all right, but the Knicks are gonna take you to 7 in the second round, and they might knock your behinds out. And then you have Cleveland in the conference finals. Gonna have to go on a road. You know what I mean? That 2 or 3 seed, that the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference is just right, because you're just gonna be punch drunk by the time you get to conference finals, having to go through a Cleveland or a New York in that second round. Period. End story. So the Celtics keep messing around, losing these games, and not getting number 1 seed. It is what it is. You did it to yourself. All right, great game with over the hill. They're over the hill. The Lakers and the Golden State are past their championship window. Everybody knows it. But a good game. Still out there making it happen. Stefford, came up the 3 for Steph to hit the 3 to go into overtime. And then we discussed the last play, what happened. Great strategy with Kerr, putting Draymond on LeBron, and just anybody but LeBron. Anybody but LeBron. But, the shifting in coverage opened up. Reeves was wide open, layup, game done. So darn if you do, darn if you don't. Okay. But just awesome. And these two guys, just why retire? Just stay on, just stay around. LeBron doing it for Bronny and Bryce. Steph, just keep. I know you want to win. You're not going to win unless you trade teams. Jimmy Butler's not going to be enough to get you over the hump. It's just not. Okay. Really what they need to do is team up. If Steph and, but neither one wants to leave. Steph, LeBron is a media mogul. He's in the right place. Steph, he's not leaving Golden State. He's true, loyal to the soil. Okay. So you'll be marketable. You'll be fashionable. And you guys are going to lose in the first or playing. Because you can't, LeBron and Steph, neither one of you can do it on your own. So LeBron, make your, you have your media empire. Happy with that. Playing with your kids. Happy with that. Steph, loyal to the soil. You know what I mean? Happy with that. And Kevin Durant is already in a place to win a championship in Phoenix, so he's not going to return. Not that, another older player would be, you know what I mean? Anthony Edwards seems happy, even though he's a clutch sport guy. He seems happy. Does he want to come to LA? I mean, if you can get Anthony Edwards, but he seems happy in Minnesota. So you're good for the league. Good for your brands. Plenty, good for Lake Tahoe in May, early June, probably May, because neither the Lakers or Golden State is going anywhere. Denver and the Suns. Let's take a look. See how that game closed out. Yeah, I told you. Suns by 10. I need to put some of this quote unquote wisdom. Yeah, Coach Bud, baby. Coach Bud. So the Suns are just right, you know what I mean? OKC, New Jacks, but you got Dallas, you got Phoenix. Shout out to Memphis. Who the heck is the Memphis head coach? This escapes. Two things. I-95. I-95 drug corridor. What is that called? I can't find that. I'm going to have that for you next episode, folks. It's just on my mind. Shouting about to the wire. That stretch of I-95 from, that 20 miles from, or the 30, 50, whatever it is, from Jersey into the city. It's called something. And it escapes my mind. Memphis Grizzlies head coach. I got to get his name. I think it's Taylor. Yeah, Taylor Jenkins. Right? Just, yeoman's work. All due respect for them to be, right? Love Zach Edey. Love the way this roster. This is crazy. Memphis is third in the West. Crazy. Game ahead of Dallas. 2 games up on Denver. And the Lakers. Shout out to the Lakers. We're going to talk a little bit about Clippers. We got to talk about the Clippers. And the Rock. Oh, my God. MA. Rockets. Young Lions. It's anybody's ball game. It's anybody's. These matchups. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. The New Jacks, right? I love the Rockets, and just drafting well and with the correct leader to Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Van Fleet knows his business, Sagoon, and MA coming from the Popovich tree, is, you know what I mean? OKC, same thing, got the right coach, drafted, developed well, just young Lions. Very disappointed in Sacramento right now. What the heck they're doing. Can they, will they, should they turn it around? Yes. Mike Brown, Popovich tree, but just disappointed that they let other teams take their lunch. Memphis, strong, physical, respect on Zach Edey's name, please. Respect up on his name. Inside, outside, grind you down, about that life, job, head on right. Yes. All right. I just see, like, when I look at the West, it's, let's break it down. New Jacks, our New Jacks, new kids on the block. OKC, Houston. I'm still putting Memphis in that new kids on the block because they have not taken, you know what I mean? Ja missed a couple years or two. They kind of been there, you know what I mean? But still newish kids on the block, right? Dallas, not young, but you know what I mean? Like OKC and Houston are really just youthful. Dallas, who broke through unexpectedly last year. Memphis, who's been around. Minnesota, right? So we got the new kids on the block. Or it's like the newest kids on the block. The newest is Houston, OKC. The newer kids on the block, Dallas, Minnesota. I'm putting Memphis in this category as well. And then just the new kids on the block that have been there and their windows are closing. Denver, Phoenix. You can put LA in this category if you want, even though I don't think they're real contenders. I got to put Sacramento in this category also. Sacramento, what is going on? What are you doing? This is your time. This is your window. And where the heck are you? Like 3 or 4 games out of the play-in. 4 games under 500. Looking like you're going to let the Spurs take your spot in the plan, Sacramento. De'Aaron, Sabonis, like this is it. If you missed, when start talking about blowing it up, and both of you have an optimal situation. De'Aaron, they brought your boy Malik home to play with you. Sabonis, finally able to run the show, do what you need to do. Under capable leadership of Mike Brown with a very good owner whose name escapes me, Indian American gentleman. Don't let this window close on you. The Clippers are just timeless. You know, it's crazy to me that the Clippers, with organizational strength, fire sale in New Orleans, Utah, they shouldn't get Cooper flagged. They've been bad for too long for no good reason. There's no reason they should be this awful. They're not a dysfunctional franchise. Portland, same thing. What the heck are you doing? You have 18 million number one picks, capable coaching Chauncey Billups, and you're pathetic. 11 games under 500. Like, why? Right? That's what I'm saying. Chauncey Billups knows his business. Got all the money in the world for ownership. Have like 18 number one picks that they've just been essentially missing on and just aren't hitting. Versus, right? How is Houston 20-9 and the freaking Trailblazers 9-20? What is so different about Houston and Trailblazers? MA, a little bit more experienced than Chauncey. Coming from the Popovich tree, yes. But some, I don't know. These guys should be much further along than where they are. I'm sorry, period. Jabari Smith, we didn't know. MA got him right. Jalen Green has been balling, having some issues off the court in terms of the wildness and, the baby mama drama. But, MA's gotten through to him. Amen Thompson, MA's gotten through to him. And, it's almost like the same thing, like Jamal Mosley and the great work that he's doing in Orlando with talented guys, Paulo, Suggs, Cole Anthony, Wagner brothers, and Jamal Mosley's gotten through to him. They embrace team. They play hard. They play the right way. They grind out wins. They don't give away wins. And some of these teams, Utah, Portland, you've just been bad for like 4 or 5 years for no doggone reason. Okay, a little bit of talk about my Clippers. Excuse me. Sorry, they're not my Clippers. Dear friend, Derek Thompson. That was his team. That was D-Tom's team, the Clippers. Tried and true. Thick and thin. And Steve Ballmer, richest owner of Team Sports, building it into an arena. They have their own arena. Just awesome, visionary, all that stuff. And they're just they really shouldn't be taking playoff spots away from other teams, but they do it every year just because they're like the Steelers in football. They're like the Steelers. They're just they're not a championship team, but they're just a very well-run team. Year in and year out. Taking shine away from teams that should be in the mix that I just talked about. That are dumpster fires. Is David Griffin going to last in Houston, in New Orleans? I don't know. They have Zion. They have B.I. They have McCollum. They have other pieces. They're despicable. Really bad. Meanwhile, the Clippers, can you name, who do the Clippers have? Who is their all-star? No George. No Kawhi. Who exactly do they have? Zubac? Terrence Mann? Norman Powell? Talked about Sean Fine, Pride of Barnstable High School, Director of Player Development. Ty Lue, elite coach. And they're a playoff team. Oh, they technically have Kawhi, but he never showed up to work. So, there's just, everybody's not Like everybody's not a Ty Lue. Everybody's not Lawrence Frank in the front office. Everybody's not a Pat Riley. Everybody's not an Eric Spoelstra, right? Culture, character, leadership, these matter. They matter. And the Clippers have them and other teams don't in abundance. And are falling far away from the pace. Where would I like to see Cooper Flag go? You say San Antonio, right? That'd be crazy. Don't want him to go to Utah. No. Don't want him to go to the Pelicans. No. Golden State. That'd be a good place for Cooper Flag. Like to see, I don't want these bottom feeding teams. Washington, never. Toronto, yes. I'd like to see Cooper Flag in Toronto. No, not with the Hornets. No. Brooklyn, that could work. Cooper Flag in Brooklyn. But I'd like to see Cooper Flag go to a team. I'd like to see a team that has a veteran star still, you know what I mean, in the mix. He doesn't fit in with Phoenix. Doesn't fit in Minnesota. The Clippers, but the Clippers are going to make the playoffs. So no, it's not going to go to the Clippers. San Antonio, he kind of is similar to Wemby. I think Wemby needs guards, not, stretch fours. I'd like to see Cooper Flag go to Golden State or Toronto. I'm good with those two destinations. The Wizards, the Hornets, the Jazz, the Pelicans, Portland. All right? You guys can continue to be bottom feeders. You guys can continue to stay in the Marianas Trench, as far as I'm concerned. Your organizations are dysfunctional. Okay? And until you get some what the Clippers got going on, I don't want to see good things coming your way, because you're probably going to squander them, as far as I'm concerned. And we need stars to go where they can be nurtured. San Antonio, great for Wemby. Golden State would be great for Cooper Flag. Toronto would be great for Cooper Flag. Brooklyn, okay, who's in the mix, fighting it out, big market, great for Cooper Flag. Keep him away from the dysfunction, as far as keep him out of there. You don't need no dysfunction. That's going on. We about an hour and 20 into this thing. And we're going to keep it moving and grooving. Did the NBA. We'll get some, because we're going to be Sand City Sports. We're going to be coming at you. Holiday vacation. Certain things were accomplished. Certain things were not accomplished. But live and learn and do your best. And get things right how they need to be how they need to be right. And yeah, folks, let's break down. Let's come over. We'll finish with some NFL. We've done the slice of life. We've done the slice of life. Bills with another cupcake, allegedly, against the Jets. We'll see what they do. Jaguars and Tennessee. Okay, looks like both those teams are eliminated. Big game for Tampa Bay against Carolina. Trap game, don't let it happen. Philly needing to get Dallas Cowboys up out of there and maintain themselves. Indiana and the Giants, Colts and the Giants. Okay, race to the bottom. Giants want to maintain that draft status. Cleveland and Miami, again, race to the bottom. Cleveland wants to maintain that draft status. Battle in the NFC North. Green Bay and Minnie. Okay. Both teams need it. Battle with two teams competing for the playoffs. Washington and Atlanta. Both teams need it. Detroit and San Francisco. Detroit needs it. San Francisco is heading nowhere. So yes, any given Sunday, in terms of the NFL, it's just jockeying for that position and jockeying for these awards, right? 2 games left in the season, trying to remain healthy, um, and so that you can kind of be in contention. Josh Allen should, 4 or 5 touchdowns, put it on the Jets, get that W, maintain your momentum so that you can rest possibly in week 17. Um, Detroit, walking wounded. Do not let the San Francisco steal anything from you. Get the W, maintain your home field advantage. So on and forth. Commanders, great story. Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels, um, going up against Penix and the Falcons, who were in that mix. So those two teams. Whoa. What's going on, folks? We got some viewership going on. Where's the viewership? Hold on. Was that what's going on? Okay, people just tuned in, jumped in. I appreciate that. Saw a couple people rocking with us. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate that. We're gonna try to get to the 130 mark with the Sand City Sports. You know what I mean? Buy for the people all day, every day. You know what time it is. Vacation Stats Hus. You know what it is. And so, hey, folks, yeah. But the NFL, it's, the parity year to year. And they just coming all the way down to the wire. Long story, not so long, and not to kind of get into generalizations and, the foolishness. AFC, Ravens. Sticking with the Ravens for me, but Bills secondary. Okay, spread the wealth. My homeboy, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Andy Reid, all that stuff. It's time to spread the wealth. Okay, so those are my 2 teams. As I said, NFC, Eagles, all day, every day, and Detroit Lions. Eagles and Detroit Lions. Okay, as I kind of, certain things come on me, some holiday stuff comes on me. So yes, let's conclude there with our picks. Hope it was a good holiday for everybody. My holiday was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. And, learned, and what I learned at the end of the day is, as we say about the holiday season, I love the highlight reels, but the highlight reels are not free. The highlight reels are not free. And there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes for those highlight reels that we don't always factor in. And yeah. I come into this holiday season needing rest, and I opted for rest this holiday season. And I look back and I say I should have just kept working. Should have got the work out of the way. But that was a little bit, you know what I mean? But the holidays are about work. We see the highlights, but there's a lot of work that goes on with that. And this holiday season, I did not keep working. Decided to rest, which is nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. But there's opportunities, that you have, and then you don't have them. Holidays is once a year. So you say, hey, I missed that. You live, you learn, you make it up as you can make it up, when you can make it up. But that's what I got from this, you know what I mean? I had to just embrace the madness of the holidays and just stay hungry through the holiday season. I didn't do that. It worked out how it worked out. Dropped the ball in some areas. But you pick it up and you move forward down the road, down the line. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Can't beat yourself down. Beat yourself up. Can't do that. And you drop the ball, you drop the ball. And there's a reason things are hard. There's a reason things aren't easy. Right? And so, hey, that's my takeaway. Make it do what it do. Hope everybody had a good Christmas day as we move forward to the new year. I am your host, the Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. This is Sand City Sports coming at you. And we will see y'all again the next time. Peace.